When accessible is not accessible, going beyond the ADA. Follow all of the code requirements of the current ADA standards for accessible design, and you will still fall short of meeting the accessibility needs of the people with the wide range of disabilities that exist. Regulations are a good place to start. Understanding universal design takes you from just meeting the legal standards to meeting the needs of people of all abilities. This video will show you simple things you can keep in mind that will help you go beyond the regulations, reaching a higher level of universal design. Accessible approach. When approaching the topic of accessibility and existing facilities, consider the design process from the point of arrival. This can be the bus stop, passenger drop-off area, sidewalk, or parking facility. Parking and passenger loading zones. Oregon law for accessible parking spaces is much more restrictive than federal standards. Parking lot design requirements set forth by the Oregon Transportation Commission require that the width of the parking space be 9 feet rather than 8 feet, and the access aisle be 6 feet rather than 5 feet for non-wheelchair users.
Little to your right. Straight back. Little right, left. Good.
The grade and cross slope are critical when choosing the accessible parking spaces. In this case, Georgina's van door will not close because of the steep grade of the parking space. Severe grades and cross slopes can also result in runaway manual wheelchairs. Passenger drop-off areas need to be close to the entrance without risking passenger safety in accessing the facility. Accessible route. A change in ground surface, color, or pattern can alert an individual to the edge of the path of travel, entrances, or other transitions. The path of travel from parking to the facility needs to be accessible. Here's an example of the lack of a curb cut in the direction of travel, forcing the use of a curb cut into oncoming traffic. After contacting the appropriate city department responsible for sidewalk repair, this same path of travel is now accessible to the facility. The path of travel from this parking space includes a nearly invisible hazard. Hazards, or obstacles in a path of travel, can be avoided with raised detectable warnings or using contrasting color for high visibility. Creativity can abound when designing paths with accessible natural surfaces. Detectable warning surfaces assist individuals who are blind or with low vision. To be effective, they must contrast visually with adjacent walking surfaces. Here, a detectable warning strip alerts Patricia when she's at the end of the ramp, avoiding travel into oncoming traffic entering the parking lot. Thresholds are a major tripping hazard. Anything over a 1/4 inch can throw a wheelchair user or someone who uses a walker to the ground. Here, a simple threshold ramp fixes the problem. Stairs can be a hazard for people with low vision if there's no detectable warning or bold color changes indicating that they're there. Entering the lobby at the Casey Eye Institute, someone who has low vision would be unclear as to where to go to find information or the elevator. Without significant color changes or bold signage at eye level, it's difficult to know where you are or where you're going. A person would walk right by elevators they're looking for when they blend into the walls. By comparison, when bold, distinctive colors are used on the path of travel, they can help direct people with low vision to help desks, elevators, or stairs. Now, these elevators at the Oregon Health and Science University stand out against the light-colored walls. Patterns or changes in surface materials down the center of a path of travel can provide direction. When something extends more than 4 inches into the path of travel, at a height of between 27 and 80 inches, there needs to be a detectable warning such as a partial wall that can be detected by a cane. An accessible path of travel can also be applied to outdoor recreation, such as a playground, or a fenced-in dog park. Unfortunately for Patricia, the path of travel was not very distinctive at this particular dog park. She had to rely on the photographer for additional directions.
It's to your left. To your left. Keep going to your left. A little more to your left. You're right at the post. There it is.
Good girl.
Entrances and doors. The approach to a facility should provide universal access so all individuals can enter easily at the front entrance. Opening doors with a closed fist and limited mobility can be difficult if the door requires too much force to open it. Here, a door is tested for force using a digital fish scale. Latches on outdoor gates also need to be operable with a closed fist. A touchpad to open a door is a good solution to opening exterior doors. However, touchpads need to be tested for the degree of force necessary for door operation. Automatic doors are ideal for large complexes with heavy pedestrian usage. Space allowance and reach ranges. The space required for a wheelchair to make a 360-degree turn is a clear space of 60 inches in diameter. Baby changing tables inside an accessible stall can limit the clear space if someone in a wheelchair is unable to lift it back into place. When it comes to countertops and access to everything from soap dispensers to paper towels, reach ranges must comply with the 2010 ADA Standards for Accessible Design. Reach ranges are from 48 maximum to a minimum of 15 inches off the floor, although 42 inches is preferable, especially when reaching over a counter. Wheelchair passing width is 5 feet. Considering that these service desks may have people in front of them, this aisleway is too narrow for wheelchair users or people using a cane. Signage. Names on buildings need to be prominent and distinctive on all possible entrances and paths of travel to the building. Signs to the accessible entrance need to be prominent and distinctive at every entrance. Oregon regulations on parking signage, different from federal standards, require that the bottom of the sign is 84 inches, more or less 3 inches from ground level. To learn more on the Oregon law regarding parking signage and sign placement, refer to the Oregon Transportation Commission's Standards for Accessible Parking Spaces. Universally recognized symbols can be used on signs and can be very helpful for people who have difficulty reading or understanding words. The Universal Accessibility sign can be used to denote an accessible entrance. Although blue is the recognized color for accessibility, it's not mandatory as long as there's a 70% contrast between the lettering and background color. Here's a map showing exit routes. The use of bold or raised lines is important for individuals with low vision or who are blind. Signage that is located high off the wall or ceiling may be difficult to find or read by someone with low vision. Alarms. Fire alarms must be both audible and visual. Again, 48 inches maximum from the floor to operate this fire alarm is regulation, but 42 inches would be more user-friendly. Access to services. To more easily access services, facilities can offer clipboards or assistive hearing devices. Acoustics. Designs that reduce the effects of ambient noise and reverberation improve sound quality for people who are hard of hearing. Design elements to be considered to enhance sound absorption and reduce reverberation include surface treatments, quieter HVAC systems, and the elimination of fluorescent lights. Aside from visual alerting systems, hearing assistance technology includes induction loops, FM and infrared systems, and captioning and display systems. Access to services, preventable obstacles, and hazards. Sometimes the design is right, but human error can create an obstacle that will prevent accessibility. A split toilet seat can pinch or cut someone who has no control or feeling in their legs. When there's a paper dispenser for the toilet seat, according to 2011 Oregon Plumbing Specialty Code 408.2.2, a full round toilet seat can be used if a seat cover dispenser is available. Use a full round toilet seat whenever possible. No split toilet seat here, but look at the positioning of the trash can, another preventable obstacle. Accessibility. It can be a beautiful thing. The design of a facility can be accessible and beautiful. Here's an example of a beautiful handrail at a Washington State park, a stairway with plexiglass sides, and a beautiful wraparound bench seat with the planter being the focal point. The only thing holding us back from universal access are the creative ideas and the designs to make it happen.